There was one standout performance by a running back on Monday night, and it wasn't the one you would have picked. Sorry, DeMarco Murray and Adrian Peterson. Carlos Hyde is the running back who is ascending right now after he had 168 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 sick spin move in the Niners win against the Vikings. That sort of performance will help the Niners forget about Frank Gore and also give a team that so desperately needed some good news a giant dose of confidence heading into a Week 2 game against Pittsburgh. St. Louis Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald shot his way onto the short list for Defensive Player of the Year candidates with a dominating performance against Seattle in the first game of his second season. Donald was a beast as a rookie last year, but in recording a pair of sacks and 9 tackles in the opener, he put out film that should terrify every offensive lineman coming up on the Rams' schedule, starting with Washington in Week 2. The Indianapolis Colts might still wind up with a potent offense this season, but nearly every Colt, from Andrew Luck to T.Y. Hilton to Frank Gore, has his arrow pointing down right now after a Week 1 loss to Buffalo. But the biggest question for the Colts coming out of the opener is, what happened to Andre Johnson? The Colts signed the longtime Texans receiver to not just be a leader for the offense, to be a tough, deep threat for Andrew Luck. With just 4 catches for 24 yards against Buffalo, that guy has yet to show up. For a guy who just signed a 4-year, $84 million contract extension last week, Eli Manning sure did have a bad week. Though he had his New York Giants in position to beat Dallas, it was his mental blunders that ultimately cost the Giants the game. But he also failed to throw a touchdown pass, and the only offensive touchdown for the Giants came on a very short field after a turnover. So how will Manning respond? And will his mea culpa this week help him keep the trust of his teammates heading into Week 2 against an Atlanta Falcons defense that was surprisingly stout in Week 1?